how do we capture the content? And the way that we've found to set this up to make it as efficient as possible for a business owner, where you don't have to worry about scripts, doing take after take, awkward setups, equipment, all the variables that get in the way of creating great content, particularly video content, is setting up a Google Meet. You can do that with us. It's a service that we provide. You can do it with a colleague. And what you do is you have an interview style Q&A. So you grab a couple of questions, and just like you're having a FaceTime chat with a friend or with us, hit record and you work your way through the questions. And that conversation takes 20 to 30 minutes, and essentially all your content creation is done for the next 30 days. The 30 days in 30 minutes social media system helps business owners deal with the overwhelm, the time constraints, the skill gaps, the lack of equipment, the fear, not knowing what to say, not knowing the strategy, how to produce an ROI when it comes to social media content and strategy, and also delivers the upside. Helps with the invisible hand, so when people check you out online, there's trust transference, which helps boost more sales. You're able to add goodwill to your audience up front, so they have less buying resistance, and you're able to build your brand and separate yourself from the competition, which is really, really important in the synthetic AI world where people have hundreds of choices at the push of a button, and you need to be able to distinguish why your solution is superior to the other options that they can go check out. So I'm going to walk you through a framework called the 5 R's, so you can go ahead and produce 30 days of social media content and strategy in roughly 30 minutes, and give you some free tools that we've built along the way that we'll add in the show notes and descriptions below. If you don't see them there, make sure you put a comment in and I'll flick it over to you. My name's Aaron Whitnish. I'm the co-founder of Content Only, and this podcast is designed to help you find shortcuts to grow your business through social media and all the tools and elements that go around that. So the 5 R's, the first step is research. And this is coming up with content ideas that solve your target client's biggest problems up front. So you're perceived as the destination solution for their problems, and ultimately when it comes time to make a buying decision, you're front of mind. Now we've created a GPT that pulls the top 30 questions that people are typing in on Google for any search. And if you want access to that, again, it's in the show notes. If you don't see it there, just put a comment, GPT below, and we'll get that across to you. So let's say you were a mortgage broker, you might type in interest rates. You'll get the top 30 questions your target audience is searching in relation to interest rates. You just copy and paste them to a spreadsheet. Then you might do the same search for property market, then home loans, and so on. You'll get 150, 200 content ideas that'll last you for the whole year, and it takes 10 to 20 seconds to perform each search with this GPT. So that's yours. So you never have to worry about what to say, what your target audience are thinking, and you can solve their biggest problems up front with educational content that makes you a thought leader and a destination brand in the marketplace. Number 2 is how do we capture the content? We've got all these ideas, and we call this step record. And the way that we've found that you set this up to make it as efficient as possible for a business owner, where you don't have to worry about scripts, doing take after take, awkward setups, equipment, all the variables that get in the way of creating great content, particularly video content, is setting up a Google Meet. You can do that with us. It's a service that we provide. You can do it with a colleague, you can do it with a friend, someone that you have great conversations with. And you set it up on your iPhone, and when you're jumping on this Google Meet, you make sure it's recording in high definition. You'll set it up in selfie mode or portrait mode, and you also select the transcript option. You can also get a little Bluetooth mic from Amazon if you want to get really crisp sound quality. And what you do is you have an interview style Q&A. So you grab a couple of questions from each of the searches you got in the research step previously, and just like you're having a FaceTime chat with a friend or with us, hit record and you work your way through the questions. And that conversation takes 20 to 30 minutes, and essentially when we go to the next step, repurpose, all your content creation is done for the next 30 days. Now, depending on your business, your niche, what tools and resources you've got available, the way that we repurpose it in our agency is we have Francois who cuts all the clips that are corresponding to each question. So that way we get a premium piece of video content for every one of the questions that your target audience is asking online. Then we brand it, put captions on. There's a ton of tools that do that. Canva will put captions on videos for you very accurately. You can edit them, make them on brand. If you don't have an editor or you don't want to use a resource like ours, then there are tools like Opus Clip, Get Munch that if you give it the recording, it'll cut videos for you. However, it's very random. So you'll get a bunch of clips, but they might not make sense and they might not correspond to the questions that you were targeting. which defeats the purpose a little bit of going through that research step. But what you do get is the transcript, and that goes straight to Google Drive from the Google Meet session that you hit record on. Now, we've also built a GPT that you tell it what platform you're writing the post for, you give it the transcript, and it'll repurpose the post in under a minute in the structure and way that is designed to get attention of your target audience. So a strong hook, the value, the context, the hashtags, the call to action, does all that. So that's another tool that we might share below, or if you don't see it there, make sure you put your hand up in the comments so we can get that across to you. That process used to take us half a day to a day as an agency to write posts for all our clients, and we'd have to write them manually, or we could dictate the posts, and then we'd have to clean them up, run them through Grammarly, which was an AI tool that could proofread, go through all the steps of getting the hashtags, etc., and then scheduling them out. Now this GPT that we've trained, and each time we work with a client, we build a custom GPT for every client. So we train them on their brand, their voice, their target audience, their existing content, who the people behind the business are, the missions, the goals, and the values. So every piece of content actually aligns with that. So that's the difference between the generic GPT that I can send to you and then when we work with a client. And that's been revolutionary for us to be able to create really engaging written content from that 30-minute conversation taken from Google Meet. The next step in the process, now we've got all this content, we've got to get it in front of your target clients, the people that can actually do business with you. So we call this reach. And it's all good and well to get lots and lots of views, lots of engagements and likes, but if the people that are watching your content have no utility or means to buy from you, then it defeats the purpose. So what we do is, first of all, we focus on your primary platform, which has the attention of your target customers and clients. We schedule the content out at active times. So this is often Meta, Facebook, and Instagram. And if you go into the Meta Business Suite Planner, it'll actually show you the active times of your audience online. So you can schedule it out evenly throughout the week at those optimal times to get the best chance of being seen. Because if people are on the platform, you can show up in the feed, gives you a chance to stop them in the scroll and to interact with that content. The next thing that we do is we guarantee 24/7 reach. We don't put it up to chance anymore. So we'll run a little omnipresence campaign where we'll circulate 4 to 5 different pieces of content to keep the variety high, and that will run to a local target audience that are the best avatar to do business with you. So you're being seen all the time. You're getting thousands and thousands of qualified views every single month, and we're just not relying on organic impressions that are hit and miss sometimes. And the algorithm, we pay to play. A few dollars a day gets a lot of exposure, and you know that your target audience that are watching the content are a great fit for the solutions that you offer as a business. So that's the reach component. Then the fifth step in the process is what we call retargeting. So all the people that are watching the content that we're circulating to, everyone that follows your profile, everyone in your database, everyone that's been to your website, we run a CTA ad for a couple of dollars a day that, again, 24/7 visibility. So people are constantly seeing your offer. So when they're ready to make a decision, when they are in buy mode, because everyone's buying timelines are different, they can put their hand up and go, okay, I'm going to go check out this offer, whether it's a lead magnet, it could be a paid solution, it could just be directing to the website, there could be inbound reaching out through a message or a phone call. But this way, we're going to your hottest and warmest prospects at all times. So when they are ready to make a decision, you've got an offer front and center so they can take action. So that's the framework of the 30 days in 30 minutes social media system that we implement for our clients using the 5R framework. So that way we effortlessly create your content from a 30-minute effort. We're making sure it's going to your target audience online, and they're also retargeting with an offer. Another thing that we do is we go to the posts that have engagement. You can do this on Meta, and you can actually invite people to follow. So if you want to build your followers up, you just click on a post, click on the content engagements, and then you can invite everyone that's interacted to follow, build that up. For your business, great social proof. And on LinkedIn, if you've got a company page, you usually get around either 100 or 250 credits every single month. And anyone in your network that's a target fit for your services, you can invite them to follow the page. They'll also get the opportunity to get exposed to your content. So I want to share the updated version of the 30 days in 30 minutes social media system as it stands right now, because we've introduced those GPTs that speed up a lot of the processes. And like I said, if you do want access to some of those tools, just let me know. Hopefully it's in the show notes below, but you might be watching on a platform that doesn't have show notes, so just put it in the comments. We also provide this as a service, and we're putting a brand new training together that actually shows you this entire system in action. If you go to aaronwhitnish.com or contentonly.au, there will be an opportunity to go through and watch exactly how we do this rather than me just talking you through it here on the podcast. And you can access that training, hear from some of our clients, the experience that they're having with it. And then if you wanted to have a chat about us potentially running that system for you so you can just focus on what you do best in your business, there'll be an opportunity to book a conversation with myself and talk about it. Other than that, That's it for today. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. If this was a helpful episode, leave a 5-star review. It helps other people discover the show. I'll be back again with a brand new episode soon.